Hey, what's up guys, it's Tech Confusion, and in today's video I'm going to be teaching you how to track motion in After Effects. If done correctly, motion tracking really adds to your video and gives it a professional look. So without any further ado, let's jump right into the tutorial. So when first launching After Effects, we're going to need to create a new project, import our footage, and create a new composition. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. You can create a new project by this dialog box that opens when you open After Effects, or coming up to File, New Project. So I've created my new project, and now I need to import my footage. Just come over to your project panel, right click, and hit Import. Locate your footage, select it all, and hit Open. Now up in your menu bar, you need to come up to Composition, and click on New Composition. In this dialog box, you can name the composition whatever you want and adjust the settings. I'm going to name mine Motion Tracking, and I can leave it 1920 by 1080. Once we have our new composition, we'll need to click and drag our footage down from the project panel down into our composition. It looks like my footage needs to be resized because it's not quite 1080p. Once your footage is in your composition and ready to go, we need to create a null object. You can do that by right-clicking on your composition window, hitting New, and coming down to Null Object. I'm going to leave that named Null1. The next step is to locate the tracker window. You can do so by coming up here to Window and finding Tracker in the list. The tracker window allows you to track the motion in your footage and apply it to another object or text, and I'll show you how that works. Go ahead and click on your main footage clip. Come up to the tracker window and hit Track Motion. Once you click Track Motion, you'll have a little point on your footage that you can move around to select your track point. In order to track your footage, you'll need to find a place on the footage that has a high contrast between the lights and darks. Once you find that place, move your tracker point to that location. I think this is a good spot for me. You also may need to resize your track point in order to get a smooth track. Next, come over to your tracker panel, and you may need to expand it to see all of the options. Come over to Edit Target, and make sure this is selected on the null object we just created. Once your track point and target is selected, come over to Analyze and hit Play. This will then begin to analyze your footage and move that track point along a smooth path. Once it is finished, you'll see that it created a whole bunch of keyframes right here that represents the motion tracking it just created. Once you're sure that you have a steady track, come to your tracker panel and hit Apply. Apply the dimensions to X and Y and hit OK. Once it's finished applying, come over to your tracker panel and close it. You won't need that anymore. Coming down to the composition, you can see all the keyframes that it created on your footage layer. Go ahead and collapse that footage layer and come up to your null object. You'll see that the same keyframes were applied to the null object as well. So now that you have your null object set up to track the motion in your footage, we're going to go ahead and create a text layer. If you wanted to learn how to have an object track the motion in your footage, don't worry, I'll cover that in just a second. But for now, we're going to go ahead and do text. Come down to your composition window, right click and hit New, Text. Go ahead and come up to your composition preview and start typing whatever you wanted it to say. I'm going to say boat rides. So now just go ahead and format the text the way you'd like it. Now that your text is formatted, we now need to link the text layer to the null object that has all the keyframes with the motion on it. To do that, you can come down to your composition panel, under Parent, on the text layer, and where it says None, click that drop down arrow and select your null object. Once you link those two together, the text should now follow those keyframes that are on the null object. So let's go ahead and hit play and see how it looks. It looks pretty good, but there are still a few minor tweaks that we need to make. As you can see, when the boat moves away, the text tracks with it, but it doesn't get smaller like the boat does. This is a simple fix, and we can actually make the text smaller as the boat moves away. So let's go ahead and do that now. Come to your text layer in the composition panel, click on Transform, Add a keyframe for scale by clicking this little stopwatch right here. Go to the end of the clip. Click on this little diamond right here, and this will add a keyframe. At this point, we can mess around with the scale to try to make it look good. So I'm gonna go ahead and mess around with it and see what I come up with. So after a little bit of tweaking, you can see how it looks much better. So now, as I promised, what if you wanted to have a picture or video track instead of text? Let's go ahead and go through that now. It's pretty much the same method to track motion with an object as it was with text. So let's go ahead and bring down a picture that we want to track with our footage. And you can go ahead and resize it to look the way you want. Once it's formatted the way you'd like it to be, come down to your composition panel, under Parent, click None, and select the null object. Then hit play and see how it looks. So as you can see, your picture now tracks with your footage. And again, if you want to make more tweaks to it to make it look even better, feel free to do that as well. But for now, I think this looks pretty good. So that's pretty much all there is to motion tracking in After Effects. All the files I used in this video will be linked down in the description so you can download them and practice on your own. If you enjoyed this tutorial or found it helpful in any way, please remember to let me know down in the comments below. And if you're a new viewer, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well to see more content like this. As always guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and until next time guys, peace out.